Words cannot describe how hyped I am for this show. Skeleton Crew is fantastic and whimsical looking, and it's exactly the coming of age story that I adore. I mean, this to me feels like the swashbuckling all ages adventure that was the original backbone to the Star Wars story, and the idea or prospect that this could draw in an entirely new generation of young kids into the franchise, I think it is exactly what excites me the most. It really feels like they said, what happens if we just take The Goonies and Stranger Things and Flight of the Navigator and Explorers and just mash them all together and run with this quintessential 80s kid-oriented adventure? I mean, the skeleton prop itself is straight out of The Goonies. Now, this is definitely the most suburban American vibe we've ever gotten from Star Wars, and it's throwing me through a loop, but I also think it's hilarious. You know, I'm trying to think of other fantasy or science fantasy adjacent franchises that have had a similar suburb feel without just being something like Circa Town, but I can't come up with anything. It's also pretty clear to me now that Palpatine's real endgame was not to destroy the Jedi and rule the galaxy with Force, but it was to create and establish HOAs. A truly cruel and evil Sith plot that nobody saw coming. You know, are we going to see Twi'lek soccer moms? No, but really, every planet with the exception of Coruscant and Alderaan are these super dense, overpopulated city-like worlds, or these Wild West, feudal-like frontier towns that are pulling inspiration from either European or Asian settings, and I think that this is where that big disconnect is coming from. We've seen planets based on Italy, Switzerland, and Tunisia, and now we finally see a planet that is based on suburban America. But I think as Westerners, specifically North American residents, it just feels very anti-fantastical. But I think that is okay. Many will jump to the idea that it's something that does not work within the broader trope of fantasy settings, but I think that isn't true. I think it's just going to take some time to settle. Now, what I think is the most interesting aspect that does come from this, though, is that it really emphasizes the stark difference of Luke and Rey's childhood compared to these kids. It really is like a child from war-torn South Sudan versus a kid from middle-class Michigan. So those are my initial impressions. What do you think? Did you like the trailer? Did you like the vibes? Are you excited to watch this show later this year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you like the content, give me a follow.